Thank you.
Y'all heard that, right?
John, you know, I can only speak for myself, but I think that there's an expectation when you're an African-American artist to do a certain thing. And I don't think we fit in a category. You know, I know some great abstract artists that are African-American. You know, we have a couple of kind of right here. You know, and so people want to put us in this category of what is black art. And I have personally, I feel a responsibility to tell our story. I have a commitment to honor and celebrate us and our struggles and our accomplishments, but it's personal. It's more about what I want to do and not about what I think that we should do. And then I think that the most important thing for me, well, in the beginning, it really was about feedback. I want to know, am I reaching, am I touching, am I, you know, it's a message being conveyed, but as time went on, that was enough. But as Kathy mentioned, at some point it becomes about, is it worth taking home? You know, are people connecting to it to a point where they recognize this piece as being theirs, and it's speaking directly to them, and they feel like they need to support it. And so that's what I appreciate. I appreciate the support, but I also appreciate the feedback. And I think that art should elicit a responsibility or a response. And so that response occasionally will be negative, even in some of the images that I've created. But I appreciate even that feedback, because if you're responding even negatively, I think I've done my job as an artist.
I'm going to start by saying it's really difficult to be an abstract artist in the black community. And I 100% understand that, because as a people, I think we feel it's important to acknowledge, we've come through a stage where we're having trouble figuring out who we were. Yeah. So, but my work is abstract, and it has to do with the mind. It has to do with metaphysics. It has to do with the concept of being and becoming. And ideas like trying to project a busy mind, for instance, as in the little piece that you see out there that says something about Chad. To focus on those things that happen internally. I've been involved with metaphysical concepts since I was very young. My father used to look at me around some things I used to say. Like when I was 10 years old, we really all should be cremated. So my work, my whole process of being and becoming has been a journey as it relates to metaphysical concepts, the whole idea of cause and effect, and all of those concepts that I reflect on. So I went through a period when I was working with teenagers in the 60s when I did Christ being released and boogalooing in the street and what have you that were very much related to, free your black mind kind of thing. But my real center is in the realm of the abstract. So.
Well, I think that every artist has a responsibility to tell the truth, whatever that truth might be. I tend to concentrate on the internal, but also, well, first of all, the reason I do that is because I think the internal is what drives the external, whether it be one person's action to the next or one nation towards the next. As I discover what calms me, what uplifts me, what fulfills me, what frightens me that I have to overcome, I want to put that in my art. I don't relate it to black people specifically or people of color. on the assumption that the humanity of all of us matters most, and the internal is the human. I'm hoping that I'll be able to save someone or so many people with a certain internal struggle that I've gone through, and that's what drives my work.
It's funny, I never looked at it as a responsibility to something I always enjoy doing. And by keeping it, what they say called keeping it real, and doing what I love to do. Because being a landscape painter, it was kind of like I'm not really a true African-American artist. I kind of struggled with that at one point, and I was like, well, you know, this is just what I do. That's my background. I grew up in the country. Every day, that's all we did was hung out in the woods and fish. And so it's just a natural visual of me having trees and the sun coming through. Just seeing the beam of the sun shining through the trees, I just always remember that as a child. So by me recreating that, what I found out that it gives therapy to other people who see it. So by me creating what I really enjoy, even if it's painting urban scenes, you know, through the community that I capture, it brings a certain kind of therapy and healing to others. So by me doing what I want to do, it automatically, you know, helps the world. So, in that sense, I guess it is a responsibility by being true to yourself and painting what you want to paint. So, that's another thing.
Well, I have been blessed to be chosen to be a self-taught artist, and I cut my teeth in my growth in Brooklyn back in the 80s and the 90s, where there was a whole lot of artists in the community, you know, that was expressing themselves, using their creativity to express their individuality, but at the same time, we felt that we were an activist in some kind of way. We felt that we were empowering. We wanted to be an empowering force to the community, to our people. And over the years, I've gotten a lot of support from a largely African-American audience, and I'm thankful for that. And that audience have not only identified with my work, but they identify with the message and how it has been empowering to them, how it's uplifted, how it's touched their lives in some way. So in that respect, it's a symbiotic relationship that I have, more so than just a response. They give me back. They empower me to be empowering in that way. You know, you understand what I'm saying? That's the relationship that is developed. It's almost like I'm getting something to keep doing something. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one of the responsibilities that I feel we share together. It's a symbiotic relationship. I am also creating artwork that I put, first of all, it's therapy for me when I'm at the drawing board. When I'm creating, it's my love, it's my therapy. But at the same time, aesthetically and all the qualities I put in the work, I make sure that that standard and that quality that stays at a high level and opens itself to evolve, so that those of you who own the work can also have the benefit of the appreciative aspect of the work in the future. So, in one sense, the artist, right, satisfied. But in the other sense, I'm giving you a product that some way you could use that product or that painting, and you could pass it on to someone in your family, right? So that's my responsibility, to use so that you can have something that you feel worth passing on to someone in your family. But those of you who are becoming or have been bona fide art collectors, I'm also responsible to protecting your investment, protecting the appreciative value of your work. You know, my integrity has to be in check. you see, where I place my work. The fact that my work is associated with these artists, and there are galleries that I know of that allows my work to be in the same room with the great master's work. You see? So therefore you get to appreciate, we all get to grow together in the benefit of that work. There's a social responsibility as an African American person. I think that each person in this room in some way have a social responsibility to elevating, uplifting, and strengthening, you know, where we stand, and our history is unique and where we come from. So while there's aesthetic appreciation and aesthetic joy and love that we can benefit from it, I think there's still, each generation is responsible for making a contribution to help the next generation come along. And that's what I do with my work.
Those are all very good answers. You know, as I sit here and look at everybody on the panel, it looks like we've all had pretty long careers. I know I've been painting about 30 years or so. And, you know, during that period of time, people have asked me, well, why do you keep painting? And I always joke, I'm too far out to swim back now. But really, the real question is, what makes you do what you do? And what are some of the struggles that you encounter being an artist? Being an artist is not necessarily the easiest life. And so, what makes you continue? And what makes you do what you do? I mean, there are easier roads. And we're going to start with Cam down there, because you just, Cam? My brother. I hear you. What makes you do what you do, boss? Everybody got to answer the question, baby.
I'm just making fun of you. I love you.
People made fun of me all my life.
Well, let me say this. You know, I mean, you're born with the soul of an artist. I mean, once you're an artist, you're an artist. And every one of you sitting here is an artist. You don't know it. I teach art at the Y. And some of my students are 85 years old and trying to be an artist. I've been trying this for 10 years. I still cannot draw a straight line or do a circle. But I say, you don't have to try hard. Just do it the way you feel like doing it. It's gonna come out right. And earlier we had a conversation, you know, with me and Leroy talking to a young gentleman. He says, I've been trying. I said, don't try. Let it go. Let it flow. You want to do a straight line? It doesn't have to be straight. What's going to come out of this straight line is your soul. And your soul is the most important element of your being. You want to be an artist, you're going to be an artist, no matter what. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I went to Jean-Michel Basquiat's exhibit, and I couldn't even get in there. The line was so long, and I had to wait about 20 minutes to get in there. By the time I get inside, you know, there must have been about 200 people in there, showing, this gallery was showing approximately 60 pieces. And I used to meet, to hang out, you know, in the village, you know, back then, and when I was much younger, trying to be an artist myself, and I saw this guy evolve. I said, well, he'd never make it because he's doing crap. You know? It took years for the art community to realize that this guy was convey the real message. When I got closer to what some of his pieces, the poetry, the things that he was trying to say, to convey to the world, it's amazing. You know, I was reading an article online, and in 2012, last year, he's the #1 selling artist in Europe right now, in France, averaging $69 million. And I told him, you doing crap, man. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're born artists. We carry a message, and let this message be out there for every generation to enjoy. And that's what we're doing. We may die and never be successful, but it doesn't matter. And it's going to be a struggle, whatever you do, whatever you try. That's what we're here for. And nothing is easy.